right. Welcome to round 6 of ARL Season 4 ACC GT3. We're here in Zandvoort, here in Netherlands. In Zandvoort, Netherlands, for a 60-minute, your classic style ARL race. Mandatory stop with tires. 25% chance of rain. As you can see, it's raining in qualifying. So let me get... I'm not sure the percentage of chance in the qualifying, but I've been told it's 20 to 25% chance of rain in the race. It's going to start at 2 p.m. and have a 2 times time multiplication, if that makes any sense. So we'll be ending at 4 p.m. sim time, even though the race is only an hour. As we watch Conan Zig go on board with him. On for a really good night tonight. He qualified P4 in practice, only behind Ouroboros GT, SPS Sales, and Mitch, which is really high up for him. This is a competitive grid. He got a 130.570 in qualifying. Fastest in practice, fastest in practice was Mitch at a 29.946. Stales, who is our last winner, and Zig gets a little bit of oversteer and goes off. Now he's off big time into the grass. He's going to have to sit there while Ice Bob negotiates the chicane. Unlucky for Zig. Right now, I was going to say our expected pole time was a 28.8, but I don't think we're getting anywhere near that in these conditions. I didn't really talk to the drivers much about wet conditions, but right now, Glenn really setting the pace here as he negotiates Sabor. See how much curb these drivers are taking right now. It's odd, the top was reflecting. Let's go on board Glenn. Ouroboros. Really see where he's finding all this space. How's it going, Tycho? Good to see you in here again. Got Ouroboros really setting the pace right now. Pushing this Ferrari. He's gonna catch this traffic, I reckon. Flags! Blue flags. Knight not going to adhere, and he's really gonna get rotten as Glenn overdoes it there. Knight got in the practice session. P6 with the 131.5, not bad. Just behind Doggy and Zig. Not what you want to see. Ouroboros does have a really good banker. Head and shoulders above of everyone, really. Half a second to trigger. We'll go on board him. See how he can respond to this pace. Now, if you want the championship standings and you're new around here, Trigger is leading. 88.5. Mitch in second with 56. Trigger with 1 win. Ouroboros in third with 49. He also has a win. Stillin and TV round out the top 5. still in 38, TB 36 points. So here's the interesting part, and then I'll shut up and we'll watch his race. Stale, who's debuted last race, showed amazing pace. Got the full 25 points. He's P6 in the championship with 25. He's only done one race. So can he make a championship charge? He joined late. He missed a few rounds. We'll see. And it looks like we're going to have another driver dealing with traffic here. This time it is the speak of the devil, SPS Stale. In the free practice session, he got P2, 3/10 behind Mitch. And he flies over that. Now, are we going to be the commentator's curse again and watch someone get blocked in the same exact corner on the same lap? Yes, we are. People are not adhering to blue flags. This is disappointing, folks. He finally gets out of the way. A little bit too late, I'm sure. Trigger is fuming under the helmet. But Trigger 6/10 up, even with that. He's looking to put this Ferrari on pole. As per usual, the Ferraris and the Porsches are going to the top, but Stale taking that Bentley on a track where the Bentley shouldn't be anywhere near these Ferraris and Porsches. And up there, Trigger going to cross the line. P1, 34.449. Great lap from Trigger. And he responds. He's now up. These two head and shoulders above the competition. Let's right on board last year's championship winner, Mitch, marked number 1. He's about to hit traffic, so he's gonna lift off a little bit. I'm not sure he left enough room. I guess we'll find out. Thank you for everyone coming in here. Race should get started in less than 5 minutes. If you're new here, give us a follow or even a sub. We'd be much appreciated. Thank you. So again, it's the traffic game around here. I seem to be on whatever car is going to get blocked. Mitch fast approaching his Porsche teammate, Doggy Hat. Doggy Hat making his debut today. He got P5 in the practice session, 131.269, showing good pace. He's really trying to push here to get out of Mitch's way. Mitch really pushing, 8/10 up. Doggy getting the blue flags. And Mitch finding the perfect balance. You see Doggy out ahead, cutting the chicane too much. I'm sure he got invalid. Mitch cutting it as much as you can get away with. Now a second up. Needs to find another half second if he wants to get on the pace of the top 2 leaders, Trigger and Stale. Will he? Little bit of a late turn in. He gets a lot of understeer. The time is losing. Look at the time go down. He is going to be so upset of himself. He just lost about a half a second through there. It's going to be not his best. He's going to go on another lap. And we will ride on board another driver, Boris, getting back on. And as Mitch loses it, can he keep it off track? Yes, he can as the cars fly by. There's no one flying by. Just a second. So we ride on board Ouroboros. He is P3 in the championship. As I said earlier, he qualified P3 in the free practice session. 130.360, only 4/10 off Mitch. So let's see what kind of pace this Ferrari's got. Up a few tenths here. He needs to find a few more to get on pole. Little bit too much curve. He's going to lose a lot of time there. Let's see if he can make it up through the chicane. There's yellow flags being waved. IBRI spot went off. Gotta get this right. He does perfectly, just like Mitch did before. He takes a lot of curve, but not enough to get it validated. That is the key. Fighting the car to get traction. 5/10 top. That's good enough for pole. Interesting, you see it downshifted in the first. You're not seeing many drivers touch first with a 10-foot pole. This is Glenn's last lap. What's it going to be? Crosses the line. It is no. He misses out by pole. By how much? They're tied. They're tied. Oh my goodness, I've never seen this before. Trigger said it first, so he gets it. Wow, that is amazing. We have a tie. 3-digit tie. This happened Schumacher, Frentzen, Villeneuve, and it was 2-digit tie. There was rumors that they knew the 3rd digit. All right. What a session! No one's out on track. This is your final. What a session. Your top 5, Trigger, Ouroboros, Stale, Mitch, Alexis, Texas. Texas, who was P10 in the session, great in the free practice session, moves up 5 spots in qualifying. In the race, he loves the wet, clearly. Practice was dry. Disappointing session from Tuna. Flame and AC Guru and Konenzig all the way down in P16. I jinxed him. He was P4 in the dry in practice. Right on the pace. All right. Had some drivers struggling there in qualifying. So we got our 60-minute race ahead of us. Now it's expected to be around 40 laps. Mandatory stop with tires. Fuel is optional. So if they want to put all the fuel on board right now and not take any fuel and have a heavy car throughout the Grand Prix, they can do that. If they want to lighten up the fuel right now and then run it dry and fuel it up at the stop, they can do that as well. That is, most are doing all in one to avoid the excess in pit stop. As we wait this minute, got a couple track facts for you. First Grand Prix held here was in 1948. Capacity is 105,000, and they'll be consisted of a bunch of drunk Dutch fans driving bicycles home. It's actually owned by Prince Bernard of Orange Nassau de Jong. I didn't even know that. The race lap record here is in a 1:11.097 by Lewis Hamilton in the W12 Mercedes. We're not seeing anything like that. We should see 130s in the race, roundabout. They were highest lap in practice was a 1:29.946 by Aero Mitch. So that's the most replicated race pace time you can get. Yes, Tycho, I will do a livery contest. Last time I didn't get the chance, though, because it got so crazy at the end. Let's go, MBI. Let's go. 20 seconds left. Got Trigger on pole. Ouroboros alongside him. Ferrari front row lockout. Then the Bentley of Stale. Porsche of Mitch. And Alexis Texas in the BMW. Highest grid finish in qualifying for a BMW. So hats off to Alexis. Disappointing qualifying for Stale. He's not used to being on the second row. But I knew he'd struggle in that Bentley around here. That's not made for this type of track. He will be taking advantage. Sorry, I have a common cold. He will be taking advantage of that frontline speed. So let's see. There's the line. Trigger, our championship leader, takes us off.
Green light, green light.
Green light. And it looks like Ouroboros gets a great start. Trigger. He's gonna try and stick his nose up. The Ferraris are too wide. Stale and the Porsche behind are also too wide. As they go into turn 3. Mitch gets that P3. They're battling tooth and nail back there. And Ouroboros gets P1. Well, what happened there? As they come down into the chicane, this is called Schweilach. And something happened to Ouroboros. I'm not sure. He took the lead and then he just fell back. He was just off the camera. We're going to ride with our leaders now. Trigger takes back P1. Mitch P2. Stale up to P3. Disappointing from Ouroboros. I think they may have touched the Ferraris and that may have sent Ouroboros on the grass. Ouroboros going down the inside. In the background. And it did not come out well for him. And it goes from bad to worse. Ouroboros says he's going to get over. He may get overtaken by the BMW of Alexis, Texas. We'll go back to the front. Trigger, small lead. Mitch, our championship leader. Trigger, our championship leader. Mitch. He won the championship. He's going to go down the inside. Trigger closes the door. These two already 2.5 seconds separated them. Castile fighting tooth and nail. We're going to stay with our leaders here. Mitch showing himself in the mirrors of Trigger. Jay Stales with an incredible start at the back. Qualified P6. Now, we're going to say Jay Stales and SPS Stale. Those are two different people. Just FYI. But as Trigger stretches his legs, I believe we're going to follow this battle for P4. Ouroboros was leading at one point and got all the way sunk down to here. He tried to make a move on Alexis, Texas, and botched that. So now he's back in P5. As our drivers come in to take lap 2, our top 8 is Trigger, Mitch, Stales, Ouroboros, Alexis, Texas, Doggy Hat, and Ice Bob. Right now, line astern for these guys at front. Trigger still with his second lead. SBS still using that Bentley power advantage to good use here, not letting anyone. Right now, the focus is on Ouroboros. He doesn't belong here per se. We don't know his race pace. He had incredible qualifying and practice pace. He's going to have a look around the outside. It's a twisty corner here. It's going to twist against him. He decides better of it and tucks back in. Jay Stales with the crazy sign, pink and purple livery. These boys are running. Can Ouroboros, third in the championship, get up to where he was? Again, showing himself in the mirrors, just equal engines here down the straight, doesn't have enough. doesn't have enough right now. And now that a semi-gap has shown, we're going to take a second to look up and see where everyone is. So everyone on this in the same sector. No one with a poor start or like crashing out. Right now our order, we know our top 8, Cuzzy P9, 2V New Edge P10, Flame, Tuna, Zig, Hydro Dog, Showstopper, Sabor, and Guru and 808. 808 qualified P10, that's disappointing for him. Any other, pretty much everyone else back there qualified. But Glenn, again in closing on this chicane. Can't do anything though. Track goes away from you there if you're trying around the outside. It's just a risky move. At the front, just an update. Trigger extending his gap by a few tenths, now 1.5. Stale in no man's land ahead in P3. This is the battle for fringe top 5 here between Stales, Ouroboros, Alexis Texas, and the BMW tapering off a little bit back there. Something to be said, Doggy Hat back there in the Porsche, hassling Alexis Texas in front. And we're going to go back, find any battles, as Stales gets a little bit wobbly back there. The lame is a little bit close. An ACC Guru and Showstopper. But that is battle for P14. We're going to stay in P4 right now. Watch our leaders. Yes, MBI, Mitch has been in the Porsche all season. Every driver that is currently driving their current car has been in that car for the whole season. The way it works, if for anyone who's new and is wondering, for past seasons we've had, you commit a car, you stay to it. Now you pick 3 cars. Again, is Ouroboros closing, same corner. You pick 1 car and you stick with it. Now this season you pick 3 cars, and you separate the car season into sectors. So 33%. As Glenn, I'm gonna pause this. Ouroboros goes around the outside. Is he gonna be able to hang this? He needs to get him under brakes. Stales leaves the space. And it's gonna be no. But it's not over yet. We have another chicane as Ouroboros tucks back in. So as I was saying, there's 3 sectors of season that's each split up 33% of the season. You pick 3 cars in each of that part of the season. Most people have included the Ferrari, Porsche, Bentley somewhere in there. Just because people love those cars. But there are BMWs, Lexuses, Mercedes, Bentleys, etc., etc. It's getting a lot closer back there. We'll switch to Alexis Texas and Doggy Hats as they are scrapping. Lead at 2 seconds. Trigger to Mitch. Tight, twisty track, a lot of chicanes, not a lot of straights. Gonna be hard to overtake here. We knew that. I didn't think it'd be this hard to overtake, though. I don't think we've seen one overtake past lap 1 or 2. And here comes Doggy Hats. I mean, I thought Ouroboros had that in the bag. That was a beautiful maneuver, but he just couldn't hang it around the outside. There's too much distance on this exact corner. You want the line that Alexis is taking right over the curb. There's 2V New Edge and Ice Bobber coming to battle behind us. I'm sorry. And if you guys are new here, hit the follow button. We do these races Tuesday, which is GT4 on ACC, Thursday, which is GT3, obviously today, and then F1 on Saturday. Doggy Hat has a look. Thinks better of it. But yeah. I race on Saturdays. Doggy Hat has another look. This time he's going to really send it on the brakes. And nothing Texas can do. Beautiful move. Those Porsches on their brakes, man. They are deadly. Doggy Hat, this is his debut rate, making well use of his tool in his toolbox. lead at 2 seconds. Stales and Ouroboros, they're very close to there. Ouroboros has to be extremely frustrated. It's been stuck behind this Ferrari at that corner for 10 minutes. How long can this go? I mean, how long can Stales keep this up? This has been a ton of pressure, and he's handled it very well. I have to admit, though, Ouroboros has been rather conservative in regards to going up the inside. He prefers the outside. Every chance he's had, he kind of tucks in, which is, he's fighting for the championship. He's in P3 in the championship right now. I understand that. Now 7 laps in. We will follow a new battle here. 2v New Edge and IBR Ice Bob. IBR Ice Bob, this is his debut race. 2v New Edge, a long veteran. Koenigsegg making his way through the field. He started, I think, dead last in P16 or 17. P12 going after Tuna. We will follow that battle. Koenigsegg in the Braun Porsche looking spiffy. This turn here, as Zig has a look, really seems to stifle the racing. I've noticed because cars get really close there, but there's not really anything that the car behind can do unless he really wants to have a dive. And now you see the gap at 0.6. It really separates the cars. As Zig drives it in deep, hooks it up. I think he could have a look into turn 1. Needs to hook this turn out. Cuzzy lurking behind, gonna pick up any scraps these two leave. Will Koenigsegg have a look in turn 1? Yeah, he does not. Cars battling up and down the field, it's just they cannot fight very well. Gap at front staying the same at 1.6, 1.5 seconds now. I'll be updating you guys that every few laps. As 2v New Edge has an error, and he's got damage, big damage. Remember, he was following Ice Bob. Now what that looks like is that he just nailed Ice Bob. His hood is pushed up. Here comes Flame. He is struggling right now, and he's gonna go straight on to avoid Tuna and Koenigsegg. But he's not gonna avoid them. Gonna hit the wall for good measure, and he is going to lose a whole heap full of positions. He may come in to the pit P15 as the helicopter follows him, lurking around. Oh god, this is dangerous. Cars coming in thick and fast here, and he is gonna have to box in P15. Unfortunate. As we've got something going on back there as Ouroboros has an off. Just missed that. And Doggy Hat goes up to P4 in his debut race. Number 27 Porsche. In the Porsche livery, he did not customize it. And really hasn't been what you'd like to see from Ouroboros. He's got so much talent under that helmet. He just hasn't been able to find the consistency in some of these races. He's probably going to get a warning for that. I'm not sure how severe the warnings are on these corners, but I know that wouldn't fly in qualifying, but you can see that he's got a lot of pace. He just is immediately caught up to the Porsche. Is now going to start hassling it. As we hit the quarter mark of the race. About to go for 10 laps. We just did. Trigger just crossed the line. Running 30.3s up front. Stale, 29.6. That means he is catching them, and he is. So, what's going on here? Mitch must have made an error. Stale picking up the pace. This Bentley, it has to be said, this Bentley is so good on tires, and I think we're seeing it right now. Out of curiosity, where is Stillen? He's not in the race. Mitch goes off. Stale just says, why thank you, I'll take that. Easiest move of his career as he goes into P2. It'll be interesting to see. He's running 29s now. Trigger's not in the 29s. Can he catch Trigger and make it 2 on the trot in that Bentley? We will be watching. Right now, Jay Stales is coming into the pits. Mandatory pit and tire. Thank you for the information, Tycho. I did not watch that. So, Doggy, this is Doggy Pat's first ever ACC race. So right now we're going to go to our closest battle on track, which is Showstopper and ATF Haijo Dog. Battling for fringe points here. No. Cuzzy and Tuna. This is the true battle. For P9 here. In this orange. Looks like the mystery mode machine. It's a Scooby-Doo reference if you didn't get that. Stop and go for number 3336. Who is that? That's Jay Stales. And Ouroboros comes into the pits. He's gonna do an undercut. But I want to make sure I'm not missing anyone else pitting. It's just Haijo Dog and Ouroboros. Right now, Stales. Trigger setting the pace now. Let's see what times he's doing. He's in the 29s. He did a 30.3. So Stales couldn't maintain that blistering 29.3 pace he was doing, which is faster than 6/10 faster than when anyone did in qualifying or in practice. So Stale's race ruined. Had an amazing start, was running in P4 for a while, and now he's at a 30-second stop-go. I do not know what that is. That is not a 30-second penalty. He has to pit and then take a 30-second penalty. They can't touch the car for 30 seconds, so brutal. He's going to drop way out of the points. I don't think he has any hope getting back in there. Kazi losing ground on Tuna. We'll switch up to Tuna. Tuna using all the track and some. Just an awkward angle. Not a lot of drivers really want to make that tight corner as Haijo Dog. He's very respectful to everyone on exit and lets them all come flying through. Not sure that was necessary. You just got to stay within the pit exit. That's all you got to do. Or pit lines. But respectful and nice nonetheless. Bit of a train forming up behind arriving Flame here. Flame P7 in practice, P11 in qualifying. So, doing really well this race. Matte, red and white. Number 71 Bentley. Let us see where Ouroboros has come out. Oh, jeez, he's disconnected. That's another one. I think Stillen disconnected as well. I'm just making sure I'm not stupid and I can't see him No, Ouroboros, who was running P2 and P1 for a second, has disconnected. That is one dog out of the fight. It's a shame to see it. They just drop out. You don't even notice it until you eventually don't see them. It's very odd in this game. It's Tuna, again, using all the track and a little bit too much of it. That's going to slow him down. Invite Cuzzy into the fray. These guys in the 32s. Not bad pace at all. Check back up at the front. Nothing going on here. This is our only battle on track. Ice Bob. Flame. Tuna in Texas. Although Ice Bob... He's up ahead, I'm sorry. Cuzzy and Tuna. We'll watch it from the rear view wing. The rear wing. And Tuna really close, almost hitting him. Tuna gets a much better exit. We'll zoom out here to see the full effect. Will that mistake cause Flame any issues? No. Patient, fellas. We'll see an overtake soon. I know we will. Tuna and Cuzzy. Cuzzy really trying to get around him back there. We'll swap to the BMW driver. Ah, whoa! Trigger has just been caught by Stales. As they take lap 15, we're reaching the halfway point. Neither of these drivers have pitted. Stales has picked up his pace, 129.5. It's really looking like he's got the pace to win this right now. No one can match his pace right now. Now here's the thing, and I think Trigger knows he's got this going for him. The few and far between overtakes we've seen here so far have all been due to mistakes and or errors. So if Trigger can keep this car on track and doing 130s, can still get by. And you can't even write that, man. You can't write that. You can't write that. And just like we've seen all day, that curb gets the best of you and sends you flying. Trigger managed to keeps it somewhat on track, but loses the lead. Importantly, an SBS Dale really didn't look like he was going to have the pace to win this. Qualifying P3, he wasn't really on the pace of the top two drivers of Mitch and Trigger, and then all of a sudden the Bentley came into its own. And other drivers have made mistakes, yes. Right. On the battle for P5 here, Alexis, Texas, and IBR Ice Bob. Alexis, Texas, the highest BMW right now. Qualified P5, he's currently sitting P5. Oh, he's actually sitting P4 as we have a lot of pitters. We've got Trigger and Mitch going in the pits. Let's see. I know they're about separated by a second and a half. let's see. Which one goes out first? That's Mitch right there. I just saw him leave. So Trigger way behind. No, he was just entering. I'm sorry. Trigger way in front. Gonna rejoin the racetrack in P7. For some reason, that camera angle's giving us buggy little FPS drops. So Trigger, unlike his usual strategy, is not gonna go long. He's gonna take a normal. This is when everyone stops. Usually in a 60-minute stop, they'll put in half fuel at the start, then pit at the halfway point and put another half fuel. And this train that Alexis Texas leads is still going strong. Nothing really changing though, as Ice Bob makes an error. He's gonna fall off the back a little bit here. So it was Koenigsegg and Cuzzy. Swap to this battle. Cuzzy in the Mystery Machine, Koenigsegg in the Brawn Porsche. Two liveries I actually really like. That's the one we're looking for. Big straight line speed advantage here between these two cars. Not a lot of places where Cuzzy can use it. Too much curb there for Koenigsegg. It's not going to make much a difference though. Cuzzy pulls out expecting to have a great run. He really didn't make. Just like me, he was surprised about the lack of run. It's a nimble car, that Porsche. Cuzzy trying to line up a move. Look in front. Mitch and Trigger are separated by 5 seconds, and the battle, the train P3 being led by Texas, is still going strong. No changes there either. Lap 18 will be our halfway point here. And Zig makes a mistake. This is going to cost him dearly. Cuzzy pulls alongside him, easy as you like. And like we've seen all night tonight, mistakes pressure the guy into mistake, and that's how you get around him. Cuzzy can finally take a swift free air, stretch his legs. You honestly may be right, JG, because that did look a little bit odd, and Zig is very nice. But we'll never know if you let him by. Showstopper, 5 seconds in front, 9 seconds from ATF Hydro Dog. Everyone here is pitted, so this is for position and for the points. Let's see if Cuzzy can get up at the points. Alexis Texas is in. Now this is going to be very interesting to see where he funnels out. We'll see his pit stop. He botches it a little bit. Could be worse, could be worse. So Trigger here, he is our leader right now. Number 584, if I'm trying to him.
We are halfway through. Keep it up.
He has already passed him. Not even close. Yep, I like it honestly. The all-white Beamer. It seems like a very long pit stop. He gets dropped. We'll switch to the heli and see where he funnels out. Tuna. I think he's going to be all by himself in P8. It's looking like. There's the camera hates that shot. Does not like that shot. Yes, he comes out all by himself in P8. And Stale going deep. Do we have any battles on track right now? AC Guru going long. Just for the heads up, anyone with an orange 1 means they have to stop. With a green, that means they stopped, they took tires, and they are good. So, we'll ride with our leader. I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be back in a minute. Stop and go! We're riding flame. He's having a great race. Got P7 in the practice session. It's P11 in the qualifying, so he's moved up 3 spots. Gotta get knocked out of the points here. We've got 3 people who haven't stopped. Our leader, who we're on board with, Doggy Hat, and AC Guru. Ice Bob pushing to catch Alexis, Texas. I couldn't agree more, Shark Cuban. Couldn't agree more. I think it's why we're seeing the Bentley compete with the Porsche and the Ferrari around here, which you wouldn't think, and the BMW. You wouldn't think they could. They can just fly over the curves. And yeah, to reiterate what JD said, appreciate everyone coming out and watching the race. We've still got 25 more minutes left as Ice Bob trying to catch Texas. Give us a follow if you wouldn't mind. We've got GT4 races Tuesday. Obviously GT3 races today, Thursday, and F1 races Saturday. Losing time in front to Alexis, Texas. We shall go with Koenigsegg and Cuzzy. Oh, man. I was just about to say the battle resumed. That just isn't the case. So, Trigger, Aramich, Doggy Hat, Alexis. It's just P2, P3, P4, P5. We got our 2 stop goes, 1 for AC Guru, unfortunately. This is his debut race. Yeah, we'd love to have you, Larkin. Not much going on. We'll just watch our leader again. Got 2 stop and goes. Means Zig will move up and everyone behind him to P11. This shark, it's not impervious to the curbs, though, as we saw there. It'll take off. That's the first time I've seen the Bentley take flight, though, from the curb. So now just let me see the gap right now between SPS Dale and Trigger. SPS is number 617. Trigger is number 584. Trigger just crossed the line, so almost a lap separating them. Is he going to follow Gru in the pits? It looks like he is, and he is. Here he comes. Switch to the helicam so we can see everyone flying down the pit straight. Stale, the last car on track to make his mandatory pit stop. Just saw Mitch in the background to the right. Should be a 30-second over or under pit stop here, depending on if he has fuel or not, or any damage. Interesting that the camera does that. It'll focus on something coming by. Alright, Trigger, I see him now on the Delta. The Bentley has not been dropped yet. Trigger, 15 seconds. He just got dropped from his box. Here he goes. Trigger, 10 seconds now. I do not think Trigger is going to be able to do this. Trigger, 5 seconds. Taking turn 1 as we speak. In heavy traffic, I might add. Here they come! And it's neck and neck! Trigger tries around the outside, has nowhere to go. Wow! And Stales by the skin of... by the hair on his chin. Here comes Trigger. He's got the tires warmed up now, you gotta remember. He's gonna go down the inside here. Backs out, he's gonna go back in, he's gonna take the curbs. Not what you want to do, and he's going to have a sacrifice run up the hill. And it should give Stale a breath of air, a fresh air here. You can breathe a little bit. Amazing race between the two. And now they're going to hit traffic galore. 3 cars ahead within 2 seconds. All not for position. All about to be lapped. The Lexus of Hydrodog, Audi of Showstopper, and the McLaren of AC Guru. Now, we have given blue flags must be adhered to in ARL, and we've had problems before. Let's hope these guys get out of the way for our leaders here. And Showstopper is looking like, yeah, he's not going to play any games here. Well done from Showstopper. Oh, gosh. Oh, God! Oh my God. I think that was AC Guru. I'm not what the hell is going on right now? Mitch is now back in the game. Stale has heavy damage. Trigger's got heavy damage. This could be all to play for Mitch now. Absolutely laughable. I want to make sure was that this guy? Yeah, that was him. He caused all that. I don't know what the heck that was. He looked like... Yeah, I don't know how that happens. It looked like he was gonna let them go, then realized he was too far ahead, took out the other guy, and then just sat in the middle of the track. That's really disappointing, and I'm really annoyed by that. We had a really great 20 minutes going for us. I think we still will, folks, but It's just gonna be a little bit controversial now, and I'm sure that's gonna be submitted. AC Guru, he's been tested. We know he's clean. This is his debut race. You just hate to see an incident like that. It's obviously on accident, but you just gotta get out of the way. That's why you adhere to blue flags. It's because you avoid shit like that. I'm sorry for my French, but if you battle, that's what happens. And I agreed, Mitch. Or I agreed, Tycho. Mitch has no damage. Trigger had a head-on collision with that guy, and I think Stale did as well. So you have to also remember that damage isn't that big of a deal in this game as it is in, say, iRacing, F1, or any other. It doesn't affect you as much. So Stale and Trigger can work with it here. But you can just see Trigger is getting a lot of understeeries, missing the curbs and the apexes of these corners. Here comes Mitch. He's playing games here. Mitch is going to go down the inside. These drivers just have to commit, man. They keep swapping outside inside, and it's going to create a dangerous incident. Look at the drive out of the corner from the Ferrari. Look at the drive. Mitch, to win this, he's got to get by Trigger, and he's got to get by him fast so he can catch Stale in front. This is just add on, pile this on to the amount of times we've seen a driver stuck behind another around here. It's not friendly for racing. Not at all. But Mitch is really up Trigger's gearbox, man. Or up, I'm sorry, up his rear. Is he gonna have a fluke? No. It was a McLaren. It was AC Guru, Tycho. It was a blue McLaren. It was a blue McLaren and like another guy battling. I'm sure you can get it back on stream. And the blue McLaren wiped the other guy out and caused an incident. Mitch all over the back of Trigger. How is he still behind him? He's gone a lap, literally been up his butt. Not even really attempted a move, really picking his spot here. Just nowhere to go for a move. An easy move. It's very hard. He's going to go for it down the inside. Slight contact. And it's a job well done by Mitch. He got his elbows out. Trigger going to have a think of it. What are you doing, Trigger? That is a really poor move by Trigger, I have to say. Mitch pulled up. He got his elbows out fair, but he pulled the move done he got the move done fairly, in my opinion. And Trigger's not going to even concede here. And Trigger keeps the lead, or keeps third place, or second place, I'm sorry, by doing that. I'm not sure what to think about that. He's been involved in almost an incident every race, and he's going to add to his collection in the stewards. Mitch was a send, I'll say that, but it was a fair send. Trigger, that was, for lack of a better word, bullshit, and I'm really unhappy with that. Because that was a great move by Mitch, and Trigger just spun him. I don't even really know what else to say, but it's a half-assed move, and they both went off track. And Trigger is giving Stales this victory on a platter. Trigger is so slow right now. I haven't really been following that. They're doing 135s. They're doing 135s. Let's see what Stale is doing in front. 129. So he did a 129.3 the last lap. Trigger obviously has the really bad damage because he was not this slow. And Mitch has got to be fuming under that cockpit. I really can't believe what he's doing either. This is just, it's getting to the point where it's not cool anymore, like Trigger being in a bunch of benches. Mitch's gonna try and go around the outside. Trigger shows the door. And Mitch is forced to go over the curb. So let me back out of this real quick, to see if anyone can catch up from this. Doggy Hat is miles away, and so is Alexis Texas. Zig and Cuzzy are battling for P9. We'll follow that. But right now, we gotta watch this. Couldn't agree more, Larkin46. Couldn't agree more. That was a great pass. That's GT3 at its best right there. And that's what you gotta do to pass around this track. And then Trigger, I thought for a second he'd have the decency to give the position back, but to avoid a penalty, but obviously no decency there. And I can guarantee you a penalty will be coming his way. My thoughts is that he knows a penalty is coming his way and he's going to try and outrun it. Sort of Hamilton Silverstone 2021. So just not a classy or ethical move from Trigger. But I'm not going to go any further on the topic. So I would say that this race is all but over in terms of the victory. Trigger pretty much handed it to Stale. Still got P2 to settle up now. Drive through for number 584. And Trigger gets his karma. Ha ha! That is good. That's good. That is karma at its finest. Trigger gets the drive-through and releases Mitch. It's not going to make any difference just because you let him by after you got a penalty. Or after you got a drive-through. I still don't think... Here's why this pit entry is just horrible. Trigger wants the box. Mitch is pitting. He's going to have to brake. It's like Canada. Oh my gosh. He doesn't even brake. He just goes in anyways. Almost nails him. Thank God he didn't just pitch Mitch out. And Mitch is free and we'll resume the battle for P9 here. That's all we got. Up and down we've got Ice Bob separate by in a second. What do we got here? Nothing. Tuna and P7. Tuna qualified outside the top 10. Not have his name written down and got P9 in qualifying, so doing well here. So now the question remains, as we'll check, how far is he going to fall down? Is he even going to lose P3? That's how far ahead these top three are. Doggy Hat is just coming through to take the the lap, or whatever you want to call it. So he's nowhere near. He's not losing any positions. This is our only battle on track. At 10 minutes to go, I think it'll be a good time to do our livery competition. Yeah, Mitch would have to be insane. I don't know. We'll let the stewards decide. That was really, really poor racing. I can't really say any more about that. That was just poor racing. We got a yellow flag somewhere. That is... Who is that? That's Showstopper, who just lost P8 and P9. These drivers gaining positions. We're going to take a break from the action. do our livery competition. Top 5. And if you guys have any opinions in the comments, let me know. We'll stay here. Watch this battle. Is they gonna take a look up the outside? Nope. So these two are gonna be up there, I can tell you that. Zig is a 9 out of 10 for me. Fuzzy is an 8.5. Alright, let's start from the top. Stale is meh. It's alright. It's a 7 out of 10. Mitch is very similar to Zig, except it's not as cool. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Almost for the jump. I know, Larkin. That's what really pisses me off, is that we were really in. These drivers came out like Hamilton, Verstappen, and Italy. They were so close, so close. Mitch tried around the outside. Really nothing there for him. Doggy Hat using a livery that is there. It's a real life livery, so I'm not gonna rate that. Trigger, say 7. Nothing special. Red and white. Texas, I actually really like this. This is an 8.5 out of 10. The all-white Ice Bob reminds me of the arrows that Jos Verstappen drove from. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. Tuna with the all-white with the blue trim. I like that. That's an 8.5 out of 10. Actually, yeah, that's an 8.5. Here we are. Here's Cuzzy and rate these guys right now. Mr. Machine, Cuzzy, 9 out of 10. You're either gonna love or you hate that one. I think it works. We already rated these actually. Showstopper. That's the Audi, and it's alright. I mean, nothing really special there. 7. Hydrodog is a real life livery. 808. Looks like this Ferrari livery before of Trigger. I'm gonna give that a 7 out of 10. Zig 8, 9, 10, so we're not missing anything. Stales, terrible, one of the worst. 4 out of 10. Looks like a gumball. Like you merged two different types of gumballs. Like it looks terrible. Sabor been racing his own little race by himself back in P14. Hasn't had I also like the Braun one today. Hasn't had much screen time. This is his first race. We're gonna give. I actually like this. This gives me Sith vibes. 8 out of 10. And the last one is Flame, who is just a normal red. We'll give that a 6 out of 10. So highest. Zig in first with a 9 out of 10. We've got a bunch of 8.5s. I'm gonna give it to Tuna second, and Cuz in third. Rounding out the top 4. Sabor in Texas is 4 and 5. All right. White BMW, that was P2 for me. That was beautiful. I think we agreed on the Braun and the white BMW are your guys' favorite. Those are mine. Mitch 20 seconds back, so no heroics. With a few laps left, nothing going on there. And Cuzzy pulling away from Koenigsegg, so we very well may have nothing doing in the final 6 minutes of this Grand Prix. The white Beamer didn't win. Zig's won. Tuna got second. It was white with a blue trim. Texas has got up 5. Shit. Yes, we are. That is the winning car that we're watching right now. Okay, what is that? It looks like there's a flag on him. I've seen that multiple times. It's weird reflection. Looks like they're broke with no sponsors. Yeah, it does. It looks like an ARCA car. Like those ARCA cars that are just like black. That are so terrible. Showstopper. Closing in on these two here. Deceptively fast, actually. Yeah, I agree, Larkin. It's all licensing, though. I do wish you could make liveries for it. Zig missing his braking point very badly there. And as these guys separate, it's a good time to give a little rundown of the race. We've got Stale on a lap 36, leading the charge. This is going to be his second straight win in his second race in ARL. Mitch, P2. Also P2 in the championship. Some worthwhile note, Oral Boris, P3 in this championship, still in P4 in the championship. Both disconnected this race, or had some sort of issue and they left, I don't know. I'm just going to assume they disconnected. Doggy Hat P3, Trigger P4. So Trigger actually did get passed by Doggy Hat. He came out after his drive-through in P3, so he must have made a mistake. Definitely penalties coming Trigger's way if you've been watching. He hasn't been the most ethical racer on track. Alexis Texas rounding out our top 5. He qualified top 5. Ice Bob P6, Tuna P7. Great races, and this is a great race from the BMW pair. Drive-through 392. That is Showstopper. So 90808 and Chase Tails, they'll be getting promoted to the top 10. Or not just 908. Cuzzy and Koenigsegg P8P9. Both of these drivers have had really, really good races. They've started dead last, like, I know, way down the... Actually, Cuzzy started P9, actually. But Zig had an error in qualifying, started P16. He was showing great race pace in the practice session. His P4 there has now showed his pace up into P9. Showstopper's going to be moving down the order, so 908 should make out our top 10 and our points finishers. Stales, Subor, Hydrodog, and Flame rounding out our classified racers, and respect to them for finishing out, even though there are a few left behind. Haven't had the race they'd like to have. Still, the only battle on track right now is between these two drivers. We will ride on board with Koenigsegg, because I'm getting tired of this angle, and see if he can close up. No, Stales wasn't robbed at all. The person who was robbed, I guess you could say no one was robbed, because the person who got screwed was Trigger, and he's the one who was taking people out. But he did get taken out and had really bad damage, and was put in that position fighting with Mitch only because of that hooligan who caused an incident. No, Larkin, not a chance. Trigger was running... Trigger is really slow right now. I think that's why Doggy Hat. He's running 135s. For example, our guy in P9 right here is running 131.5. So I don't think without the damage Trigger is caught. I think without the damage we have a battle for the lead. Without all that bull crap going on. Exactly. He handled it. Couldn't have handled it any worse, really. That was such a great dive from Mitch. That really had my blood pumping. That dive, and it was just all for naught. I guess in the long run it worked, but Zig really going hard on these curves.
Final lap now.
Alright, so this is the last lap. These guys have to scrap it out. I'm not sure what incident JG is referring to, but he's exactly right. Whether it's the trigger incident or the guy just... Oh, he's a lapped car and he's taking out 2 lead cars. Either way, we're not putting up with that. Last lap, here we go. Lap 38. Zig's gonna move to the inside. It's gonna be easy as you like. Not sure what happened there with Cuzzy. He didn't look like he had a bad exit, but he had no run to turn 1. Oh, Zig is gonna cool tard it! Oh, Zig has done a cool tard. And he has given up those juicy 4 points that he had just earned not a few seconds back. Disappointing race for him. Go back to our leader, who is rounding the final corner. SBS Stales, 2 on the trot, 50 points for SBS.
The leader has finished the race.
And that'll put him with 50 points. That'll put him all the way up to 3rd in the championship, passing Ouroboros, Stillen, and TB. Here comes Mitch. Gonna add 18 points to his name. He's gonna be a safe 2nd in the championship with 72 points. Doggy Hat in his debut race in the Porsche. It's gonna be a Porsche 2-3. He's gonna get on the podium. A great race for him. And just doing some championship numbers here. Trigger will be on 105 points. Mitch 72. That's without any Mitch 72, Stales 50. That's without any penalties, which will definitely be coming Trigger's way. You think so, Larkin? I don't really know if it was 100% retaliation. Either way, it was not to be tolerated. We've got people finishing all over the shop. Texas and Ice Bob here, closer than I thought they were. Texas qualifying P5, Ice Bob qualifying P7. They're going to go 5th and 6th here. Tuna Cuzzy, Koenigsegg, and Night 808 round out your top 10 here. It's round 6, Zolder. Awesome. Literally, we could have had probably the best race in ARL history without that bullshit at the end. Excuse my French. We had Hamilton, Verstappen coming out of the pits. How far does this replay go? Like 3 laps. Not going to be able to find it. But yeah. Thanks for everyone coming out. We had so many views. I appreciate it from every one of you. Please give us a follow. I loved having you around commenting. And thanks for all the new commenters.